All right, so today's deep dive is going to be a little bit different.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to be tackling the history of Mario games.
Okay.
But through a pretty unexpected lens.
All right, I'm intrigued.
It's Mexican cuisine.
What?
Yeah, we're going to be exploring a YouTube video that uses burrito analogies
Okay.
to chart Mario's evolution.
Interesting.
Think you're ready for some surprisingly insightful food comparisons.
You bet.
And maybe even a craving for a tasty burrito by the end.
You better believe it. This video is going to take us on a culinary journey through gaming history, and you're in for a real treat.
I'm excited.
Me too.
So the video starts by comparing those classic Mario games,
Okay.
like the original Donkey Kong and Super Mario Bros.,
Right.
to a simple tortilla.
Huh?
They're flat,
Yeah.
two-dimensional,
Uh-huh.
but still the base for everything that comes after.
I like that.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it does justice to just how groundbreaking those early games were.
That's a fair point. It's easy to forget just how revolutionary those games were when they first came out. The simple act of moving left and right,
Yeah.
jumping on enemies.
Rescuing a princess.
Exactly. It seems basic now, but
Mhm.
back then it was mind-blowing.
Totally.
And the level design, even in those early 2D games, was incredibly innovative.
It really was.
Yeah.
Then enters Shigeru Miyamoto,
The myth, the legend.
the creator of Mario.
Right.
He's painted as this legendary chef
Okay.
who revolutionizes the gaming world,
Okay.
much like the invention of the burrito itself.
So what's his big invention? Is this like the secret ingredient?
I guess you could say that.
Okay.
It's the introduction of 3D gameplay with Super Mario 64.
Oh, wow.
The video compares this leap to the invention of the burrito.
So instead of just having a flat tortilla,
Right.
we've now got like all the fillings and
Yeah.
the flavors and everything.
Suddenly you're not just moving left and right.
Yeah.
You can explore up, down, all around.
That's amazing.
It really was a huge shift, wasn't it?
Absolutely. And the game didn't just use 3D as a gimmick.
Right.
It completely changed the way platforming games were designed.
Yeah.
Think about the intricate level design, the
Yeah.
innovative camera controls,
It was revolutionary.
the introduction of a more open-world structure.
Right.
Super Mario 64 set the standard for 3D platforming for years to come.
I remember playing Super Mario 64 for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Just being blown away by the freedom of movement.
Me too.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
But just like any good chef,
Okay.
Miyamoto had some competition.
Oh.
The video brings in Sonic the Hedgehog,
Okay.
Mario's longtime rival,
Right.
as another chef with his own restaurant.
So like a rival restaurant.
Exactly.
Okay.
Which they call
What do they call it?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
I know, right?
Interesting choice.
It's a funny comparison, but does it hold up?
That's a good question.
The video highlights games like Sonic 3D Blast, which is portrayed as a less successful burrito.
So like a burrito that maybe didn't quite hit the mark?
Yeah, like maybe the fillings weren't quite right.
Or the ratios were off.
Or the tortilla ribs.
Right.
And then
Right.
there's Sonic Adventure,
Okay.
which they say is like a more successful 7-layer burrito.
Okay, so that's like fully loaded.
Yeah, all the toppings,
Yeah.
all the flavors.
It's an interesting way to frame it.
It is.
But I'm not sure the Taco Bell analogy quite captures the nuances of Sonic's development.
It's true.
Sonic's always been about speed and momentum,
Uh-huh.
while Mario's more focused on exploration and precision platforming.
You're right.
I mean, they are very different.
Yeah, I agree. While the video is trying to make a point about Sonic's experimental nature
Yeah.
and sometimes inconsistent quality,
Okay.
it might be oversimplifying things a bit,
Yeah.
reducing Sonic's entire history to Taco Bell.
Yeah, I mean,
It does feel a little dismissive, don't you think?
a little bit. Yeah.
But moving on. The video then tackles Super Mario Sunshine
Okay.
with its tropical setting
Right.
and unique water-based gameplay.
Okay.
They compare it to a tropical-themed burrito.
All right, I'm intrigued. What's in this burrito?
Oh, packed with unconventional ingredients.
Like what?
Like fish pineapple. Even sand.
Sand.
Yeah, they're really going for it with this analogy.
Okay, I mean, Sunshine was definitely a departure from the traditional Mario formula.
It was,
Some fans loved it,
Yeah.
while others found it a bit too different.
right.
It's interesting that the video chooses to focus on the game's tropical theme
Yeah.
rather than its innovative water mechanics,
Yeah.
which were a major part of the gameplay.
What did you think of Sunshine?
I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah?
It felt fresh and experimental,
Mm.
and the water mechanics were challenging but fun to master.
I agree.
Maybe the video could have dug a little deeper into those mechanics.
Yeah.
For those who haven't played Sunshine. It might seem like it was just a graphical reskin with a tropical theme.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Now, here's where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
The video introduces Luigi,
Oh, Mario's brother.
Mario's brother,
Right.
as Miyamoto's twin brother in the culinary world.
So another chef.
Another chef.
Okay.
It's their way of representing the ongoing debate in gaming between 2D and 3D.
Right.
Luigi,
Yeah.
who stays in the 2D world
Uh-huh.
with the new Super Mario Bros. Series,
Okay.
is like a chef focused on perfecting the quesadilla.
So he's like the quesadilla master.
Exactly.
Okay.
Simple.
Yeah.
Classic.
Right.
And always a crowd pleaser.
I like it.
But of course,
Uh-oh.
they play up the classic sibling rivalry.
Oh, so there's some tension.
Yeah, they show Luigi secretly resenting Mario's success with his innovative burritos.
While he's stuck making flat quesadillas.
Well, exactly.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
It's a funny bit.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see how they handle the fact that those 2D Mario games, the quesadillas, if you will,
Right.
were incredibly successful in their own right.
Totally. I mean, the new Super Mario Bros. Series
Yeah,
brought 2D platforming back into the spotlight
absolutely.
and introduced a whole new generation of gamers to Mario.
They were huge.
Exactly. And those games weren't just simple rehashes of the old formula.
Right.
They introduced new power-ups, level designs, and even multiplayer modes.
They really did.
It's almost as if Luigi,
Yeah,
the so-called quesadilla chef,
right.
was quietly innovating all along.
Maybe he was.
Yeah.
All right, so next up,
Okay.
we see Miyamoto's ambition going into overdrive
Uh-oh, what's he up to now?
as he sets his sights on cooking a burrito in space.
Oh!
It's their way of describing Super Mario Galaxy.
Wow.
I know, right?
That's a pretty wild way to put it.
It is?
But I can see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Super Mario Galaxy,
Uh-huh.
with its gravity-defying gameplay and stunning visuals,
He really was a masterpiece.
was truly groundbreaking.
And remember, this was around the time when motion controls were becoming a big thing.
Oh, yeah, the Wii.
Exactly.
Right.
The video draws a clever parallel between that
Okay.
and the precision required to actually assemble a burrito in zero gravity.
Now that's a challenge I'd like to see.
It's a pretty funny image.
It is.
Meanwhile, Sonic's still on his culinary adventure,
Uh-huh.
but his Taco Bell creations get even more outlandish.
Even more outlandish than Taco Bell already is.
I know, right?
Okay.
The video compares this to some of those truly bizarre menu items Taco Bell has released in real life,
Like what?
like the Beefy Crunch Burrito
Oh.
or the Cheesy Gordita Crunch. I mean,
Ooh.
come on.
It's definitely played for laughs.
It is.
But are they overlooking the fact that some of those experimental Sonic games, even if they weren't all critical darlings,
Yeah.
actually pushed the boundaries of gaming in their own right?
I see what you mean.
Innovation doesn't always equal success,
Sure.
but it often leads to interesting discoveries.
You're right. It's easy to dismiss those more experimental games.
Yeah,
But they often pave the way for future innovations.
exactly. Sometimes you need to try a few weird burritos
Weird burritos.
before you discover a truly groundbreaking new flavor.
So true.
Yeah.
Okay, so Miyamoto has now cooked a burrito in space.
Right. He's done it.
He's achieved the ultimate culinary feat.
So where does he go from there?
The video poses the question,
Okay.
where do you go from there?
That is the question.
What's next?
It's like reaching the pinnacle of your culinary career.
Exactly.
What's the next challenge?
Right.
The video cleverly suggests that maybe the answer isn't always about pushing further into the unknown.
Okay.
Sometimes it's about rediscovering the core principles that made you successful in the first place.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that's precisely what Miyamoto does with Super Mario 3D World.
Oh, okay.
This game, although in 3D,
Yeah.
blends in elements of classic 2D gameplay.
So it's like a hybrid.
It's like a fusion of a burrito and a quesadilla.
I like it. Right.
They represent this fusion by showing Miyamoto bringing in his 4 apprentices.
She's apprentices.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like stand-ins for celebrity chefs
Yeah.
like Gordon Ramsay
Oh, wow.
and Guy Fieri,
All right.
all trying to help create this culinary masterpiece.
So it's like a big collaboration.
It is.
Okay.
And of course, the apprentices all end up arguing and fighting in the kitchen.
Oh, no.
It's their way of poking fun at the chaotic nature of Super Mario 3D World's 4-player mode.
I can see that. Yeah.
It's a funny take,
It is.
but it does raise an interesting point.
What's that?
Super Mario 3D World,
Yeah.
while critically acclaimed,
Uh-huh.
was quite a departure from the more open-world structure of Galaxy.
That's true.
It was a return to a more linear, level-based design.
Yeah.
Do you think that was Miyamoto trying to appease fans who preferred the classic 2D Mario games?
It's possible, or maybe he was just experimenting with different approaches to 3D platforming.
Yeah.
Either way, Super Mario 3D really proved that even with a more traditional level structure, you could still create a fresh and engaging 3D Mario experience.
You're right.
Yeah.
While this is going on,
Okay.
Luigi,
Yeah.
still feeling a bit overshadowed,
Oh, poor Luigi.
decides to open his own taco bar.
His own taco bar.
It's the video's way of representing Super Mario Maker,
Oh, that's a good one.
the game that lets players create and share their own 2D Mario levels.
Right.
It's a great way to depict the rise of user-generated content in gaming.
Totally.
Players get to be the chefs,
Yeah.
creating their own levels and sharing them with the world.
I love that.
But what about Miyamoto?
Yeah, what's he doing?
What's he up to while Luigi's off running his taco bar?
Well, after a period of soul-searching,
Okay.
he has a breakthrough.
What is it?
He realizes that the ultimate gaming experience
Mm-hmm.
isn't about choosing between 2D and 3D.
Okay.
It's about combining the best of both worlds,
Ooh.
taking the rich, expansive flavors of 3D
Yeah.
and blending them with the simple elegance of 2D.
And that's how we get
Super Mario Odyssey.
Exactly. What do they call it?
The Casa Burrito,
The Casa Burrito.
the culmination of Miyamoto's culinary journey.
This is where I think the burrito analogy works best.
I agree.
Just like a great Casa Burrito offers all sorts of flavors and textures, Super Mario Odyssey gives players this amazing variety of worlds, challenges, and gameplay styles.
Yeah.
It truly feels like the culmination of everything Miyamoto has learned over his career.
I couldn't agree more. Super Mario Odyssey is a masterpiece of game design.
It is.
It takes the best elements of 2D and 3D Mario games
Yeah.
and blends them seamlessly into a truly unique and unforgettable experience.
Absolutely.
It's a testament to Miyamoto's vision and his ability to constantly innovate
Uh-huh.
while staying true to the core principles that make Mario games so beloved.
It really is.
Yeah.
But with that said,
Okay.
it leaves us with an even bigger question.
Oh,
What's next?
that's the big question.
What happens after the Casa Burrito? Can Miyamoto continue to surprise us?
That's what we'll be exploring in part 2 of this deep dive, and trust me, things are about to get very interesting.
Oh, I can't wait.
Me too. Well, the video throws out some humorous possibilities for what comes next for Mario,
Like what?
like a burrito in VR,
Okay.
or even Mario teaming up with Sonic
What?
for some sort of culinary mashup.
A Mario and Sonic crossover.
Right?
What would that even look like?
They even joke about Mario appearing in the Olympics
The Olympic.
alongside Sonic, and get this, Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey.
It's definitely playing it for laughs.
Yeah?
But underneath the humor, it raises a genuine question about what's left for Miyamoto to explore.
Right. Has he reached the peak of his creativity?
Or are there still new frontiers for him to conquer?
Well, instead of saying he's peaked, I'd argue that maybe it's not about inventing entirely new genres or mechanics.
Okay,
Maybe it's more about refining and perfecting what already exists.
I see where you're going with this.
Just think about how chefs today
Oh.
are constantly reinterpreting classic dishes, right? They're elevating them with new techniques and ingredients.
And they're also drawing inspiration from different culinary traditions.
Right.
Fusing flavors and styles in unexpected ways.
So maybe we'll see Mario games that build on the foundation of Odyssey, adding new layers of depth and complexity.
Yeah.
Perhaps we'll even see Mario branching out into different genres while keeping that core Mario magic.
That's an exciting thought.
It is.
Imagine a Mario RPG or a Mario strategy game.
That would be amazing.
It could be incredible.
And what I love about this video is that it uses this relatable and, dare I say, delicious analogy
Yeah,
to explain these complex ideas about game development.
it really does.
Who knew burritos could teach us so much about Mario's history?
It's a testament to the power of analogies.
It is.
They make abstract concepts accessible and engaging.
Right.
Suddenly, we're not talking about polygons and game engines.
Right.
We're talking about flavors, textures, and that feeling you get when you bite into a perfectly crafted burrito.
Okay, now I'm getting hungry.
Me too.
But before we indulge in a culinary adventure of our own,
Right.
let's recap some of the key takeaways from this deep dive into Mario's history.
Absolutely. We started with the humble tortilla,
Right.
which represented those classic 2D Mario games,
Yeah.
and saw how it evolved into the more complex and flavorful burrito with the leap to 3D.
Exactly. We explored the rivalry between Mario and Sonic, framing it as a competition between two culinary giants,
Right.
each with their own distinct style and approach to gaming.
We saw how Miyamoto's relentless pursuit of innovation pushed the boundaries of game design,
It really did.
taking us from tropical islands to the vastness of space.
We also touched on the tension between 2D and 3D gaming, personified by the sibling rivalry between Mario and Luigi.
Right.
The master of burritos versus the connoisseur of quesadillas.
And ultimately, we saw how Miyamoto's quest for the perfect gaming experience culminated in Super Mario Odyssey,
Yes.
the Casa burrito that blends the best of both worlds.
And through it all, we were reminded that innovation isn't always about creating something entirely new.
Right.
Sometimes it's about rediscovering the fundamentals and finding new ways to combine them.
It's like taking those classic ingredients.
The tortillas, the beans of rice.
Exactly.
And finding new and exciting ways to put them together.
And just like a skilled chef can create endless variations on a classic dish, so too can a talented game designer find new ways to surprise and delight players.
And that's what makes the future of Mario so exciting.
It really is.
Who knows what delicious new flavors Miyamoto will cook up next?
Any predictions?
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I think we can expect Miyamoto to continue pushing the boundaries of what's possible in gaming.
Yeah.
He's never been one to rest on his laurels.
He always seems to be pushing the envelope.
Exactly. He's always looking for new ways to challenge himself and surprise his audience.
I wonder what he has up his sleeve next.
Maybe we'll see a Mario game that incorporates elements of virtual reality.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Imagine exploring those colorful worlds in a truly immersive way.
That would be amazing.
Or perhaps we'll see a Mario game that embraces the metaverse,
The metaverse.
allowing players to connect and interact in a shared online world.
Now that would be something else.
Those are some exciting possibilities.
They are.
But even if Miyamoto sticks to more traditional game design,
Yeah.
I have no doubt that he'll find ways to innovate and keep the Mario franchise fresh and engaging for years to come.
I agree. There's a reason why Mario has remained so popular for over 4 decades.
Why is that?
It's because the games are fun, creative, and always offer something new to discover.
And for our listeners, we hope this deep dive has given you a new appreciation for the creativity and innovation that goes into making a Mario game.
We also hope it sparked your curiosity about what the future holds for this iconic franchise.
So the next time you pick up a controller and jump into a Mario world,
Yeah.
take a moment to appreciate the culinary artistry behind it.
And who knows?
What?
You might even find yourself craving a burrito afterward.
Now, before we sign off, I have one final thought for you to consider.
Okay.
The video we've been discussing focuses on the evolution of Mario games through the lens of Mexican cuisine.
Right.
But what if we broadened our perspective?
Okay, I like where this is going.
What other analogies could we use to understand the history of video games?
That's a fascinating question.
What if we looked at video games through the lens of architecture,
Architecture.
or music,
Oh.
or even fashion?
I've never thought about it that way.
Imagine comparing the level design of a game to the intricate structure of a cathedral,
Oh, wow.
or thinking about the soundtrack as a symphony that guides the player's emotional journey,
That's a really cool idea.
or even analyzing the character designs as expressions of evolving cultural trends.
The possibilities are endless.
They are.
And that's what makes this topic so endlessly fascinating.
It is.
There's so many different ways to approach it, so many different lenses through which we can view the history of video games.
And just like this burrito analogy has given us new insights into Mario's journey.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are countless other analogies out there waiting to be discovered.
So, to our listeners, we leave you with this challenge.
Okay.
Think about your favorite video game franchise.
Right.
What analogy could you use to understand its evolution?
What unexpected connections can you draw between the world of gaming and other aspects of culture?
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
We would.
Share your ideas with us on social media.
Yes.
And who knows, maybe we'll even explore some of them in a future deep dive.
That'd be fun.
And remember, the next time you fire up your favorite game,
Yeah.
take a moment to appreciate the creativity and artistry behind it.
Absolutely.
You might just find yourself seeing it in a whole new light.
I love that. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up.
Sounds good.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Mario and burritos.
It's been a delicious journey.
It has. We hope you've learned something new, had a few laughs, and maybe even worked up an appetite.
And remember, whether you're a seasoned gamer or just starting your journey, there's always something new to discover in the vast and ever-evolving world of video games.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep playing. It's amazing
What's that?
how a simple analogy,
Yeah.
like comparing Mario to burritos,
Right.
can spark so much discussion
It really can.
and open up new ways of thinking about game design.
It really highlights the power of looking at familiar things from a fresh perspective.
I agree, and for anyone listening who's feeling inspired to revisit some of those classic Mario games,
Yeah,
I say go for it.
definitely.
You might be surprised by what you discover when you view them through this culinary lens.
And hey, if you happen to be enjoying a delicious burrito while you're playing,
Oh, yeah.
well, that's just a bonus.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Mario and burritos.
It's been fun.
It has. We hope you've learned something new, had a few laughs, and maybe even worked up an appetite.
And remember, whether you're a seasoned gamer or just starting your journey, there's always something new to discover in the vast and ever-evolving world of video games.
So true. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep playing.